Hi, buddy. So today I've got Mr. Kota. This is my first time really working with Kota. I want to do some liberty with him. He's a really friendly guy, very inquisitive. He's feeling pretty herd sour right now. All of his buddies got to go out this morning and he has to stay in here. And so I figured this would be a nice opportunity, good boy, to kind of go through the foundations of how to start with some liberty work with horses that have similar personality or learning styles to this guy. So liberty work is going to change depending on the horse. Each horse is going to be just a little bit different. So we'll explore what the process will look like with this particular guy. I'm hoping that the camera will be able to at some point see me and him, but it's tracking him, which is the most important part. And so he's starting to calm down here. We've spent about 5 to 10 minutes running around the arena, calling to our friends. And so what I start with, good boy, is seeing if I can provide some stimuli that will draw his attention towards me. And as you can see, he'll flick an ear and an eye towards me and then start to come towards me, and then we'll kind of have a drive-by and he'll go off and go to the next thing. So I'm starting to see that, his attention span is going to be short because obviously this is the first time we've worked together. He really wants to be out with his friends. And so instead of saying, hey, I want your attention and I'm just going to keep your attention, I'm going to hold on to that, I'm just going to say, you know what? I just want to see how many times you can think about coming over to me. And that's all I want. I'm not asking for duration. I'm just asking for, hey, good. Think about coming over here. We're coming towards. We drive by and we go focus on something else. Oh, and now we've come to stay. And then when he is here, I am going to I want him to feel comfortable and nice where he is with me. Now, when he's out there, he's thinking about, oh, I'm away from my friends. I'm desiring to be with my friends. I'm desiring companionship, trying to see what it is that is motivating him to exhibit the behaviors that he's exhibiting. And then I'm going to see how I can fit into that puzzle. If he's looking for companionship, I'm going to say, hey, buddy, you and I can be together here. And then when you are with me, I'll be still and I'll be calm. Because that's what he's lacking, right? Is stillness and calmness. He's running around, he's huffing and puffing, he's calling out. And so when we're together and his mind starts to wander, I'm going to see if I can bring it back to me. Good. Even if it's just for that 1 second. And so when we're starting with liberty, I'm first going to try to follow his lead a little bit because I want him to start to notice that I'm hearing the thoughts that are popping into his head. He's not alone dealing with those thoughts, but I see them too. Good. And eventually I'd like him to say, hey, maybe this person can help me out with these things that I'm thinking about, these things that are troubling me. Oh boy. And so as I'm just kind of warming up to him here, I'll kind of discuss what is liberty, for me at least. Liberty is going to be different for each person and each horse and their relationship. But for me, liberty work is finding a way to have your horse join you in dynamic conversation. Good boy. Yeah, what do you think about that? Good. And that's kind of a broad vague definition. Oh boy. So what is dynamic conversation? Well, if we put it in, good boy. If we put it in human terms, if I am meeting somebody new and I want to be friendly with them, I desire to become friends with them, I desire to build a positive relationship with them, and we're going to start to have conversation. And what effective conversation to build a good relationship is, meaning that we're mutually listening to each other. We, take value in what the other being is saying in that conversation. Doesn't mean you always have to agree or can't have disagreements or sometimes little tiffs, but we're valuing what the other person or horse is bringing to the conversation. Good boy. And we can build off of those things together. It's a partnership. It's mutual, right? And so this conversation that I'm having with my horse isn't just going to be like, hey, I want you to do this. I want you to do that. The pressure will come off when you do the thing that I'm asking you to do. But it's starting to create a foundation in which we can start to explore things together. We can start to have conversations about certain behaviors we'd like to achieve and things like that. And so I can start to tell him, hey, there's a difference between me asking you to move and then me asking for your attention. For me pushing and drawing. I'm trying to show him the difference between pushing and drawing here. Good. And so that's going to come through my body language. Very nice. Because when I am asking him to move, I'll let him come in here because he thought about it for a second. Good boy. Good boy. When I'm asking him to move, my chest is going to paint the picture of where I'm asking you to go. Good. And the energy that I put through my body, I'm walking towards him. Here. And then when I want him to come in, good. And I see his thought, say, hey, I notice you. The second that his thought comes to me, I'm going to create space for him to fill. Good boy. Good boy. So the way that I approach liberty is that without being interpretive, I do try to notice the thoughts as they come into their brain and then give some sort of feedback before or while they become behaviors. And if your timing can become good and you can start to give your horse feedback on their thoughts before they go from their brain down into their feet, they'll say, oh, this person knows how I'm feeling. This person knows what I'm thinking. Yeah. Good. Nice. And just like we are with people, when we find a person that really gets us, that sees us, that hears us, we tend to want to be near them more, and we're more apt to kind of hear out their suggestions and what they have to say. Good boy. And so in the beginning here, since this is our first session together, I'm really not asking for much, right? I might pop in a few questions here or there to stimulate some thinking, and when I think that it'd be beneficial to ask him a question when he is engaging and saying, hey, what is it? But for the most part, I'm just establishing what it can be like to spend time together, right? When he was by himself out here, he was worried and frenzied. I'm not with my friends, right? and I'm running around and I feel insecure and I'm not feeling comfortable in this space. And so I am going to try to create an interaction where I'm saying, hey, let's work on that confidence. We can work together to help you be a better horse, right? Because mutual relationships are mutually beneficial. I'm enjoying, hi buddy, spending time with you. Maybe I, want to ride, or I have certain goals in mind, but also through this work, we're going to make you a better horse too. A horse that you would, be happy being. Not saying that he aspires to be a certain type of horse, but certainly he feels better when he's calm and collected than when he's worried and all over the place. Right, buddy? There we go. Nice. And again, when he chooses to leave, that's okay. I'm going to give him that space. Sometimes working with horses and liberty work is really just about holding the space that they need at the moment. And so sometimes it might not just be about what you're wanting that day, whatever goal that you had in your mind. There you go. There you go. Sometimes you just got to see the horse that's in front of you. And you say, okay, what does this situation need? What does this horse need? And then what can we do with it? Because if I were to come in here today and he's all over the place and worried and excitable and not feeling whole in himself, and then I'm like, all right, today we're going to do something super duper challenging that you're not comfortable with, and then I add on to that, then that's not adding to him as a whole being, right? If his cup is already not full, and then I'm going to say, hey, let me borrow some of that so that we can do an activity that I have in mind that's going to fill up my cup, but I'm going to borrow some of what's in your cup to get it, then that's taking from him, and it's not nurturing a mutually beneficial relationship, and it's not making him feel like he's considered and how he's feeling is considered in the way that we work together. Good. Very nice, my man. Good. And so now what I'll try is, as he comes, we'll see if we can walk together. And we'll kind of take some turns, right? If he wants to explore something, maybe I'll follow him for a second. And then if I see that there's an opportunity to do so, oh, you want to roll here or something? Oh, you found some hay. If I see that there's an opportunity to do so, like I see an ear flick towards me, or he starts to take interest, and I might say, hey, let's make a change in this path we're walking together. So it's kind of a my turn, your turn thing, right? If he wants to go to the left, I'll go to the left a little bit, and then if he poses an opportunity, then I'll see if he can follow me. Good boy, right there. Good. So he led there for a second. He said, hey, what about you? What are you thinking? And I said, hey, you think we can turn? That's good. Very nice. See if I can draw his attention. Good. Some horses like to chase things on the ground, so that's where this flag comes in really nicely. Can kind of create some encouragement to move, move, move. And then I'll say, hey, come to my side. And for me, my cue of standing next to me and kind of being in a heel position, if we were to put it into dog terms, is that I'll bring my elbow out just a little bit to say, hey, come up near this elbow. And so we can start to form that I'm getting his attention. We're doing really good with like the attention and drawing thing. Uh-oh, are you itchy? You want some help with that itch? You want some help with the itch? Is that the itchy spot? Oh, yeah, good boy. That's another thing I like to do with my horses, especially if they got an itch that's kind of difficult to get to. Oh, help them out, and then once they realize, then they can start like pointing to different spots that they want itched. Say, hey, can you get my belly? Can you get in between my legs here? There we go. That happens sometimes. And so I'm just going to start showing him, hey, this here. I'm going to see if he can stay with me. And if he starts to lose, I might say, hey, follow back with me. Good. And he's found a scent. And so I'm just going to stay with him and see if I can get him to think about coming back. Good. We had an eye and a turn of the head. Good. I'm just looking for just the ear. Good. Just a little bit. Very nice. And so it's not always about him being right here on top of me, right? Especially with a horse that's excitable. I don't want him to be on top of me. If he feels like he's not controlling himself, go away. Go do that somewhere else. And then you can come back once you're in control of your body again. Yeah, good boy. But it's really, it's not about like demanding the picture of what the eventual ideal is, right? Of him being glued to my side. When I take a step forward, he takes a step forward. I take a step back, he takes a step back. Sideways, all of those things. Those are really nice and pretty and have a bow on it. But in the very beginning, I'm going to say, hey, what can you give me? And thank you, that's enough. Because I'm looking for the effort here, not a perfect behavior. Eventually, we'll start to shape the behavior. But right now, we're in the stage where I'm just looking for the mind. So if all he can give me is an ear in this moment in time, he's got me one ear here, then that's all I'll take, right? I need to start to acknowledge the little things before I ask for the big things, because I'm building up his confidence, right? And I'm building up this relationship where I'm saying, hey, I'm noticing the tiny little thoughts. I don't need you to yell. I don't need you to make yourself known loud in a loud way or a physical way, because I see the tiny little shifts that people have missed in the past. I hear what you're saying, right, buddy? And then when you're with me, we can hang out and we can feel good. Yeah. And I can see you and you can see me. Because if I can start to be sensitive to his little shifts and what they mean and the information that they bring to the conversation, then he can also start to notice my little shifts. Maybe I don't have to ask so much. Good. Maybe I can just change the energy in my body to get this from him. Nice. And if I'm starting to feel like what I'm doing is not effective, I might bring the energy up a little bit. Good. There. And I'm making sure that even though the energy in my body, like in the tools and the way that I'm saying it is energetic, that it's not directed at him. I'm not putting this energy on him. I'm saying, oh, look at that. It's like a firework. It draws your attention. It's bright. You're drawn to it. All right? Good boy. And as you saw, when I did bring up the energy, it didn't like startle him, but it grabbed his attention quite quickly. And then he released the tension. He saw the energy, he felt it, and then he let it go. So it wasn't building inside of him. Good. It just kind of went through my body and then through his body. Good boy. Another thing, the last thing I guess we'll end on in this short little start session here with him is that when I am working at Liberty and I'm doing these conversations, I want to start at a very calm and relaxed place. I don't want to nurture the hypersensitivity or the overexcitability, because I really want to nurture some self-control in these situations. Good. And something that I see pop up with some of this stuff, especially with these super duper smart horses, is frustration when they don't get that energetic release that they're looking for. So when I'm doing this, the goal or a quality of the space that is the goal is always relaxation and suppleness and softness. That's the place that I always want my horse to be able to return to. That doesn't mean that he's always going to be soft and supple and relaxed all the time. That's impossible. He's an emotionally dynamic being just like we are. I am not soft and relaxed and supple all of the time. Sometimes I'm stressed out too. But the big point is that we can return to it. So even here, we've got some tension. We can see it in his neck. I'm going to say, hey, let's see if we can relax that neck and come be soft and supple. And so he relaxed for a moment. And of course, he's going to go back to being a little bit stressed at some point. Like I said, emotionally dynamic creatures and emotionally dynamic beings. But the thing that we're practicing is, hey, I see that you're a little bit elevated. And let's see if we can regulate that. And I can help you. So yeah, I think we'll end there for his good first session. And we'll pick up another day and build on to this. Good boy, bud.